Yeah.
Questions for Kylan?
So why Kyrie?
I just like the shirt. It's cold outside, so I threw on a hoodie.
So how was your semi-break, or at least away from the games anyway? How's it been the last
It's been good, just in the lab, trying to get some shots up, taking care of my body for sure. A lot of big games coming up. But yeah.
Did you keep away from the gym one day at least, or 2 days?
No, yeah, we took a break right after the game, got a day off of rest. But, no, yeah, just trying to rest my body, get my body prepared for what's coming up.
How much further along do you think you are right now than you would have been if you had just shown up this year or this past summer?
Definitely way farther than I would have been if I was here. If it was my freshman year, getting along now. Having an advantage of kind of knowing how college basketball works, the pace of the game. Already know what the coaches want from me. Already played with some of the guys from last year too. Definitely a great head start for me for sure.
So in this Michigan State game, first half it looked like you were really hunting your shot, but then the second half you didn't really take as many. Was that more what Michigan State was doing, or did something change for you?
I think in the first half it just was there for me. In the second half I kind of wasn't really feeling it as much, so I was not trying to force the game to myself. If I had a shot, I feel like I would shoot it, and if it didn't, let my teammates go crazy.
Is that like a maturity kind of thing that you, if you don't feel it, don't try to force it?
Yeah, I mean, the more I play, more I get older. Sometimes, if he's not scoring, you got to facilitate another way and kind of help the team win any other way I can. But yeah, definitely maybe it could be a maturity thing. But yeah, just wasn't really feeling it. Just letting the game flow.
You mentioned this looser schedule is a little bit of a physical break for you, just to kind of get your body ready for the grind. Is it more of a mental grind, though, with these 3-week-long game preps?
You could say so for sure. I feel like us mentally are very tough as a team, and with the coach, Lloyd, he's one of the most tough guys I've ever met in my life. But yeah, I mean, I think our mental toughness is fine. Probably more physical for all of us because it's just very hard teams, very physical game in general.
Where have you seen yourself develop as a leader on the court compared to last season?
I say I'm more vocal, more communicating with my teammates more on the court. Really something I've tried to assert myself for this team. So when moments kind of get down the line or rough, people not thinking I'm saying random stuff. And times everybody just knows I'm being serious about the moment. Taking it serious basically. Yeah.
And was that a conversation with Coach Lloyd maybe before the season, or it just kind of naturally evolved into that?
I think it just naturally evolved into that. I kind of knew I had a bigger role coming into the season. I knew I'd have to be more of a leader for us to, be a better team, the best team that we could possibly be. But yeah, I'd definitely say something more natural.
Do you have a preference, 6 games in 18 days or 1 game in 15 days, since that's kind of what we're in right now?
I don't know if I have a preference. Either one kind of sounds a little iffy, but it really doesn't really matter to me.
How often has Caleb or Kishad mentioned their experience playing in the Final Four in the championship game?
They've mentioned a few times. It's not something that we would talk about often. We just know in the back of our heads they're have more experience, and especially when it comes down to March Madness and that line. They've been at those games that we're trying to get at. Now they came here to hopefully get over that hump. That's been the goal.
Do you think that experience has been something that has helped, especially in the Duke and the Michigan State games late?
For sure. They know those type of environments, how rowdy it can get. Those two help a lot when, like we can tell some of our younger guys are kind of like getting flustered. They can come and help calm the moment down for them and just kind of realize, it's not as big as it kind of will feel like sometimes.
KJ had that awesome block against Michigan State. The bench went crazy. What did you see on that play?
Just him being him. That's just who KJ is. Gives great effort. One of the best defenders in the country, hands down. He always playing as hard as he can, and we trust him to guard whoever we need to guard, the best player, and if the case may be it. But yeah, that's just KJ.
Anytime a mid-major comes in here, they want a shot at Arizona.
Yeah.
But it's different when an NCAA tournament, year-over-year NCAA tournament team comes in here and they're a mid-major and they carry the underdog mentality. What's the challenge of playing a team like that here?
I mean, like you said, yeah, every time those teams come in here, it's like the coach always says it's their championship game, So, I mean, like, if we're coming in with underestimating them or not at our full attention, giving them our full respect, they can easily come in here and, shock us by surprise. They're so Division I for a reason. That's why I feel like that we've done a really good job with that. Sometimes our first half has been a little slow, but I don't think no team really can hang with us in the second half, how we run, how we play, how our basketball is played, So just try to take care of business the best we can.
You proved that in another way against Michigan State, especially after you guys went down. You had just that kind of incredible comeback, incredible ability to withstand the storm, even when it felt like all the momentum was going against you.
Definitely, for sure. I mean, I think that's more of us as, a team getting more bonding each other off the court. Nobody really, when we're out there, when that type of stuff happens, nobody gets fazed by it because we know who we're playing with. We know that it's Arizona basketball, so all of us have each other's back. Those type of moments aren't really that big of a deal for us because we know that we can get through it for sure.
Kylan, I know it's not quite the same this year, but last year you had that big tournament in Maui and then a bunch of time off and then go to Utah and you guys said things didn't seem to feel the same. You lost that game. Is there anything you got to kind of be aware of this time around after a long break like that, being that's what you went through?
I don't feel so. I mean, I feel like Coach Lloyd's biggest thing for us this year was our culture, and I feel like we have that set in place as a foundation and stone now for us where we can fall back to that. We know who we are as a team, as a unit. Last year, I mean, I feel like the culture could have been better, and I feel like Coach Lloyd's big philosophy now has been making sure that that's not an issue for us now. So now everybody knows what our culture is and everybody knows what to fall back to, I think those gaps and stuff won't matter.
So that can translate into maybe not getting too high after a win or something like that?
I mean, we prepare for every game the same, as hard as we're going to play, so when we win the game, it's not as big of an accomplishment as some people may take it.
Looking ahead to just how this month is going to go, where you're going to have, after Colgate, have 4 other teams that are either power conference or made a Final Four last year. Just looking at it from a player's standpoint, how excited are you to have all these opportunities, just one right after the other?
I love it. I'm a big competitor myself. It's awesome to know that we're going to be playing ranked teams throughout these next few weeks. And I feel like people still have saying like little slick stuff sometimes on social media, which kind of brings fuel to the fire. So I personally can't wait to just prove everybody wrong.
Well, speaking of social media, there are mock drafts out there, and some have you on them. I've seen one with KJ on them. How much do you look at those?
I'm not really into that at all. If people have their own opinion where they think I'll be drafted, that don't really bother me at all. I'm just playing.
You see chirps on social media, anything specific?
Maturity. Can't say certain things, but yeah.
Probably nothing you should say.
Yeah, for sure.
Just mentally though, you see that, and then you and kind of throughout this team, everybody has the maturity to ignore that, even though we're in kind of an unparalleled era. People have access to you when they wouldn't 20 years ago.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you guys use your maturity, your experience to just drown out the noise? We're playing ball.
Well, one, I'd say besides only me, a starting 5 has been college basketball for a minute now. Everybody's very older at half of the team, so they for sure have no worries about it. And then me personally, I don't really care what everyone says about me. I know who I am as a basketball player. I know what I bring to our team. Usually the young guys, sometimes you can see them, reading the stuff, and then we got to talk to them about it. But I think our starting 5 has a great job of making sure people are not too focused on what people are saying on social media.
You said earlier that you see the game better this time around, second year. Is that translating into the fact you're shooting so much better percentage-wise? Do you see things developing differently where you're going to have a better look at the basket, things like that? Or do you think it's just skill development that you're a better shooter?
I think a mix of both. I think towards the back end of last year, I started shooting better because I got more comfortable on the court. I know playing time was going up a little bit more, and I didn't feel so stressed in the beginning of the year. Now, starter, main player for the team. I think it's just my game coming to the surface now.
Yeah, was that, I think with that weekend in LA, was that a trigger for you, or when you look back on it last year, or anything else for that matter, or was it before then when you say you started to feel more comfortable?
I think when I really felt comfortable was probably the Washington game at home last year. That's when I felt my most comfortable, and after that I was fine. But no, yeah, the LA games, I just was hot for those 2 games.
All right. Thanks, Kyle.
Of course.
Thank you.